Good morning, Read 180 students. Today is Friday, December 11th, and we're going to continue working with some holiday activities today. But just a reminder, as we get started, make sure you have a charged iPad, your pencil. You'll need your binder so you can do your bell work and then your independent reading book. So your daily check-in will be done first. Make sure you do complete your bell work for today, day 5, week 11, and then make sure all of those are submitted into Schoology for each day. Today you're going to be working on holiday activity number 2, which is Christmas Inferences task cards. And again, you'll find that listed just that way in Schoology. Then when you're done with the assignment, you'll do your software for 20 minutes and independent reading for 20 minutes. Your learning target for today is we will be able to make inferences based on the details from the text and your schema. And your schema is what you have in your brain based on what you've seen and read and experienced. Also, reminders, keep checking your student view for missing work. All right, so we're going to look at our countdown to winter break, and we are on 9 days to go before we have a break. And so today's puzzle is Christmas Emoji Pictionary. So they want you to guess the songs based on the picture emojis. Remember, you can find this PDF in Schoology under Countdown to Winter Break Activities in that folder. If you send it to Notability, fill it in and send it to me, it'll be interesting to see what songs you came up with. All right, so we're going to look at a few slides here that just explain what is an inference. So you can think of it as two things you add together. The first thing you're going to look at would be clues from the text. And then it's what do you already know? That's what's in your brain. That's your schema. When you add the clues from the text and what you already know, you will get an inference. And that is really just understanding what is not directly said in the text. Here's just another visual. You can see this person with a magnifying glass. He's a detective and he's looking for some clues. So he's following these prints into this garbage can. So the clues from the text you can see are the footprints, what he already knows. So what does he maybe already knows? Well, maybe I can follow those. They'll lead me to the clue. And then the inference is what the text doesn't say. And when you make an inference, a lot of times how you will start your sentence would be, I think, or my guess is, probably, or I predict, or I can infer, or maybe it's this. All right, so again, making inferences, and we're going to just do a couple more slides here to just reinforce what an inference is, and then we'll practice. So making inferences. Readers must use clues in the story and use what information they know to discover what is not directly told to us in that text. Again, you take clues from the text or what you've read or in your book or your assignment. You add that to what you know, and then it will result in what you can infer. So we're going to practice some together. Here's the first one. Sam's favorite movie was playing at the movies. His mom took him and his friend to see it. As they were walking to the theater, Sam turned to his mom and said, "When you get it, can you put extra salt and butter on it? Thanks, Mom." So what was his mom getting for him? And how do you know that? Again, looking at the clues from the paragraph we just read. And let's just look at it together. So we know that he's going to the movies. So we know that his mom is going to get him some popcorn. And I know that because a lot of times when I go to the theater, I buy popcorn to go with my drink. And I always ask for butter on it, and I probably put some salt on it just to make it taste a little better. And those clues told me that it was buttered popcorn. All right, your next practice one is this. The air was warm and fresh. It smelled like salt. The sand was soft beneath their feet, and the waves crashed on their legs. They could see a whale surface the water. At the end of the day, they watched the sun set over the horizon. All right, so where are they at and how do you know that? Well, I'm looking at some of the clues. So the air was warm and fresh, so I know I'm outside someplace. It smelled like salt. I know that ocean water tastes and smell like salt. So I probably am kind of thinking they're at a beach of some sort. The sand was soft beneath their feet and waves crashed at their legs. All right, so I know it's probably a big body of water and there's sand there. So maybe it is not just a beach like what we have in Thief River, but because of those crashing waves, it's like I said, a large body of water. So I'm guessing it's probably the ocean. And at the end of the day, we know that people often will sit and watch the sunset over the ocean. Okay, here's another one. Making inferences, number 3. The crowd cheered as the man cracked the whip so the lion would jump through the flaming hoop. Then they all laughed as they watched 5 clowns climb out of a tiny car. It was the greatest show. So where are the people at and how do you know this? Well, I'm looking at a place where there's a crowd. So there's a lot of people there. So it's probably something they gathered for. We know there's a man cracking a whip and there's this lion that will jump through this flaming hoop. Oh, I've been to a circus where I've seen that. So let's just keep reading. And then everybody laughed as they watched 5 clowns climb out of a tiny car. It was the greatest show. Well, I've been to a few circuses, and I know that they have clowns there, they have animals, they have a man with a whip, so I know they're probably at a circus. All right, so we're going to do 4 task cards together. This is going to be your assignment when you go into Schoology. But we're going to practice, so these 4 we'll do together, so you will be able to just mark those answers as we go through. And then just transfer the answers when you get to your assignment. All right, here's your first card. And you'll notice they're all numbered going across. The wind was shaking the windows as Camille tucked her toes under a blanket. She looked outside and saw her snowman's carrot nose had fallen off his face. Camille's little brother ran up to her and asked her to play outside. She shook her head and said, "No way." Why didn't Camille want to go play with her brother? A, she was reading a book she loved. B, it was too cold outside. Or C, she was sick with a cold. So choose A, B, or C. And I'm looking at some clues and, I see she's tucked under a blanket. She looks outside and she sees a snowman. And so we know it's probably cold out. So probably I would say the answer would be letter B. It was too cold outside and she was too comfy where she was at. All right, number 2. Jamal's hand shook a little as he put the last gumdrop on the roof. It was perfect. The yard was bright green with sprinkles and there was even a chimney made out of peppermints. He couldn't wait to show his dad the finished product. What is Jamal making? A, candy, B, yard decorations, or C, a gingerbread house? Okay, so we know that Jamal's making it. He's putting gumdrops on the roof. It had sprinkles and a chimney made out of peppermints, which is candy. So, yes, while they use candy, I think the better answer here would be C, a gingerbread house. And I've seen people make a gingerbread house. I've helped my children make their own gingerbread houses, so that would be my choice, letter C. All right, number 3. Uzo had been saving for her sister's Christmas gift for weeks. It was breakable, so she carefully wrapped it in tissue paper. She knew she would like it since she loved studying rocks and bugs. She hoped the lens would not get broken while it sat under the tree. What did Uzo get for her sister? A, a magnifying glass, B, a camera, or C, a rock collection. All right, so we know it's something that is breakable because it's been wrapped very carefully. It's used to study rocks and bugs. And then we also know that there's a lens in it. So it can't be see a rock collection because there's a lens. So it's either a magnifying glass or a camera. And I know if I'm trying to study rocks and bugs, I would use a magnifying glass. Letter A. Number 4. Manny sat on the ground and stared at the star. It was covered in glitter and had gemstones hanging off each of the 5 points. His aunt finished hanging the last of the ornaments, and his uncle picked him up onto his shoulders. Manny concentrated so he wouldn't drop the beautiful star. So what is Manny doing? Is he A, decorating ornaments, B, playing with his uncle, or C, putting the star at the top of the tree? All right, so we know that he's sitting on the ground and he's staring at a star, and it's full of glitter, and it had a lot of stones off each of the 5 points. And then it says his aunt finished hanging the last of the ornaments, and then his uncle picked him up to do something on his shoulders. He didn't want to drop that star. So I probably, with that clue, would even say C, putting the star at the top of the tree. Okay. All right. So for today, you are going to complete your bell work and get those submitted to Schoology. You'll be doing those Christmas inferencing task cards. You'll find it in the holiday activity folder, activity number 2. And again, make sure you get your 20 minutes of software done. And then after you do your 20 minutes of reading, please finish your reading log and get that submitted to Schoology as well. Now, I know we are past the midterm. Some reports were going out that would be informing you that you have missing work. Please reach out to me if you need extra help on these assignments or you need a plan on how to get caught up. All right, that's it for today. I'm going to let you go do your assignment. Again, attach it into Schoology, and we will keep moving with the next activity on Monday. Remember, have a good weekend and keep working hard.